What was life like before Jesus and Christ in my life? It was chaotic and unbalanced and just doing everything the wrong way I possibly could and knowing it was wrong and doing it anyways.
I was a spoon-fed Christian, I'd say, but once I got to about 9th grade, I strayed from God and completely just felt hopeless and turned to drugs as my answer. So it was a lot of just drug abuse, a lot of loneliness, just everything that I feared of being when I was little is who I became.
Life was extremely dark. I was a slave to alcohol. I was living essentially just to drink. And that was the only thing that made me feel better about who I was. It's what made me feel comfortable enough to go through this life.
Life before Christ was kind of a confused mess. I knew what I wanted. I knew where I wanted to go, but I didn't really know how to get there, and I think I put a lot of where I wanted to go in a lot of other people's hands and trust, and I didn't put it in the right hands.
I didn't know the real weight of what Jesus was. He was just always this, like, oh, it's Jesus, he loves you, and it's like unconditional love, like, that's great. But like, I never actually like fully took the time to comprehend the fact of how like crazy and beautiful and awesome that is, you know? And it's just like, after I started thinking about it that way, I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Now it's easier for me because I can look back and I can see like the progression and all of the, I guess, progression and all of the moments that felt like losses for me. And now I can look back and they feel like wins. I'm just leaning in on trying to trust God's plan for my life.
Finding Christ, I was able to deal with situations completely differently. And now whenever I go through hard times, I turn to God, I pray, I read my Bible, and the situations are handled so much differently. And my life is just overall healthier and better.
I want to get baptized because I can live my life with God and not feel any fear of being alone, because God's always with me.
Have Jesus take away all my sins, and I want to become a better person.
It's kind of like you're in a maze with God. Jesus is the tour guide, and we're just like, we can do it on our own, God, we don't need you. And then we got lost in the maze, and we couldn't get out. But without Jesus, the tour guide, we can't get out.
With Christ, I figured out that I wasn't alone, and I didn't have to hide who I was, and I could just be myself around people, and I was with someone.
You feel more safe, and you feel more just that you don't need to you just don't need to fake it. And it's real, he's there.
Like, I've never been this strong in my faith before, and it's just so refreshing waking up knowing like I don't have to dwell on the past and dwell on who I was. I can completely like forget who the old Lola was and focus on who I am in Christ. And it's really just refreshing.
A lot of times I pray, God, please put someone in my life that I can help today in any form or way that I can be of service. I know peace. I always felt like I was swimming upstream in contention with everything around me. And now I feel joy and happiness and calmness. I feel okay with myself, and that was the big problem.
It's just amazing how God still takes care of you even when you're like, hey man, I love you, but I'm gonna do it my way, and then we'll see how that works. So that was, God is gracious even when we are idiots doing it our way because we think we're gonna do it better.